Recording in
Welcome
Welcome
to week 13
week
of our
13.
USA tour.
USA
Can you
tour.
believe it's been 13 weeks
Wow.
since we hit the road?
Quarter one done.
Quarter one. It's been a big
Done.
quarter. We've done a lot
Yeah.
for, a lot in quarter one, which is so cool. It's
Yeah.
been great. We've learned a lot.
We have.
We've been challenged a lot.
Stretched.
Very much so.
Yes.
But we survived quarter one.
Woo!
3 more quarters to go. Woo, woo,
Love
woo.
it.
All right, so week 13
Tell 'em.
was Easter long weekend.
Yeah. And where'd we go?
We went to Aspen.
Aspen, Colorado.
Aspen. It was awesome. But before that, what did we do before that? We worked in coffee shops for a couple days and had some great, really productive days. Whenever we go to coffee shops, we are just so productive. So we got to do that more often.
Coffee shops.
Which is awesome. So we go and drink tea and coffee and do all the work, get all the work done. So that's been great. We actually went to coffee shop today as well.
Yes.
As well as a couple times last week, just discovering new coffee shops in Colorado Springs where we are now. And then we hit the road on Thursday for Aspen, which was so fun. You want to tell the peeps what we did in Aspen?
Oh my goodness. I think just the drive there was so beautiful. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the $1 million mile or something. So basically, if you head north from Colorado Springs and we went up to Denver and then we went west, straight west out. So you pass through Vail, and all the different resorts. And on your way there, past Vail, there's a place called like the $1 Million Mile. And it is the most beautiful, like, drive. It's like breathtaking. There's canyons and a railroad track.
This guy was gonna go off the road because he was literally staring so hard. I'm like, boy, keep your eye on the road.
Yeah.
But
it was like, man,
it's so beautiful.
God's creation is just like
how you can see things like that and don't believe there's a God is beyond me.
Come on.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like creation. Creation didn't just come to be. Like, let's be real. You can just make this up.
Yeah.
But it's just stunning here. We love being in Colorado because the mountains. We love it because your allergies are not bad.
Praise God.
Diesel had really bad allergies. They're gone completely.
Yeah.
The mountain air has been amazing
for
you. And Diesel. So that's been awesome. Yeah, and Aspen was just gorgeous. The drive to Aspen was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And just we needed just a weekend to like not do anything and to go away, and like I shut my phone off and it was glorious, like to not have any responsibilities and just be, which was truly so good. And it's funny because we're so wired, and we had this conversation, I think I talked about it last week, that our greatest asset and our greatest liability is the fact that we were both so efficient, we're both so productive, we're both so wired to like get things done and always be moving, which is amazing. Such good quality, but also so challenging when, like, obviously you need rest, obviously you need downtime, you need time, just the two of us, to just be still, not just like running around doing this and doing that and doing everything. And I feel like we haven't really stopped since we started dating, like literally over a year ago.
We're getting better though.
We're getting better. And so this weekend was great. Literally the first day in, he's like, let's do this and let's do that and let's do this. And I was like, no, we need to have some boundaries of like not just being here to fill time, fill space. It's like we can just be. We don't always have to be doing things. And so that's something we're learning, we're working on, but also so cool because we can have those conversations. We can communicate almost immediately about that and recognize like, okay, hey, that's actually not going to be good for us if we just literally take this whole weekend and just fill space. It's not. And so if this weekend is literally us hanging in the lodge, which it was awesome. We literally hot tubbed. We walked around the city. We played games by the fire. We made dinners. We watched a show. We just truly were just still. for the first time in a very, very, very long time. I don't remember last time if we've ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
And so just it was so beautiful because it's exactly what we needed, just to be refreshed, just to be still, just to like go for nice leisurely walks with no destination.
Mm-hmm.
And just truly like we just went and grabbed tea and walked around and saw the sights and people watched and now it was just so nice to yeah, not have an agenda, not have anything to do, and just truly be for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're always learning about one another. You're always growing in your marriage and communicating, and I think that's the biggest thing is that you don't ever stop learning and you ask questions and okay, well, you're feeling that way or why are you feeling that way and why do and like you ask those questions because then you learn about each other and like I thought that I needed to plan things and we gotta go to do things because we're in a fun place and but then it's like no, the littlest like the best thing could be is just to be still. And sometimes it's hard to like recognize that um because we are wired to where we want to do things and it's hard for us
Mhm.
just to sit and sitting isn't fun because it's like, well, you could sit anywhere, but you need to do that as hard as it is. And I think
Well, I think it's
it's
harder
hard.
because our life is on the road.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we're not just living a normal day-to-day life like most people are, where they take Sundays off and just chill.
Yeah.
Like we're always moving, we're always going from one destination to the next. And so, like,
Hmm.
we are in these destinations that are so fun and we want to see things, we want to do things, we want to experience it, but there has to be a balance. And so, was truly just a special weekend just because again, we just didn't have any plans and we just sort of woke up and just did what we felt
Yeah.
we wanted to do in the moment. We lived very much in the moment rather than like filling the schedule and
Oh,
kind
that's
of
good.
looking in advance. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. And then on our way home, we drove through Vail just to check it out and
Yeah.
then we drove up to Red Rocks
Yeah.
Amphitheater and just checked out Red Rocks, which was lovely and again, God's creation is just so
Incredible.
beautiful. And then we made it back to Colorado Springs and then just been
Yeah.
working and catching up on things after the long weekend. Obviously,
Hmm.
long weekend is challenging. Yeah, I think this week's been challenging in a lot of ways too. Like a lot of things just like thrown at us. Like but the other day we just both were like, why does it feel like we can't catch a break?
Yeah.
Like it just feels like one thing after another, after another, after another, just being like pushed up against a wall.
Hmm.
And so yeah, just believing the pressure is preparing us and perfecting us into wherever God is taking us.
Hmm.
Um yeah, and just reminded that like diamonds are formed under pressure and they need the heat in order to yeah, get rid of any flaws that it might have,
Imperfections.
imperfections.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just knowing that, we may not understand why there's so much pressure and why we're being
Mm.
stretched so much right now, but also like we don't have to understand it. We
No.
just know that better days are coming and that the best is yet to come and God has the final say.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we knew what all of this was being preparing us for, a lot of people would be like, no, I don't want to do that. Or, I just want to get there. And you got to go through things and be refined. And, like they say, you go through the forge through the fire and you get bent and reshaped. And you need to do those things so you can get to where God wants you to go. And He's not going to just take you there and say, okay, you're here. Like, you got to learn and go through things. And we're going through lots of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard. And I think that's what's cool about this is that we get to go on here and like share those things because it may look really fun from the outside and like, oh, they're
Mhm.
traveling the country, but we're still human beings and we're still living life and being tested and, you know,
Yeah.
we're on a journey.
Yeah, we're on a journey and it's fun and it's hard and it's stressful and it's chaotic and it's a lot of things all in one. But there's so much joy. And one thing you said the other day is like, we can have frustrating moments, but then like laugh the next moment. And I think that's like the beautiful thing
Mhm.
about us is like we can deal with hard things and then literally like laugh and like not carry that for days on end, or carry that into the next conversation and the next conversation and the next conversation. It's like, okay, cool, we can have that conversation and then just like laugh 2 minutes later about something silly that's
Yeah.
happening, you know?
Yeah. No, I know. We have so much fun. And I think it's too, I was thinking about this is like resting. Like it's very easy if you have like a home or somewhere you can just walk to, or you can go to another room and watch a show, or you can kind of have your space and do your thing. Where here it's like we literally are like, if you think about living in your kitchen, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so like you want to be moving, you want to go out for a walk, you want to like do things, and I think that's where my mind is at, is like I'm always thinking about what can we do, because we are in this box of an art, like
Yeah.
it's not a lot, and so it's hard to be still in here because you just want to
Yeah.
get out of here and not and go do
Oh,
something. So I think that
yeah, we
in
might have
itself.
those conversations too, because like, there'll be a time after like the retreat that I'm like, I'm done. I literally put out all weekend and now I'm just like, I just need to zone out. I need to not do anything. I need to just like be. And then he'll like ask me a bunch of questions, or like, hey, let's go do this, let's do that. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I just need a day to like be. And so yeah, I think learning those things and learning how to give each other the space without having the space,
Yeah.
it's like living in a box. We don't have space where he can just like go into the other room, because
Or
if
go mow the lawn, or just
you
go be
know
a guy. Yeah.
and so, yeah, I think, again, it goes back to we're learning so much, and it's just crazy. I think of like after this tour, how much we will have learned in a year, and how much we have like grown in a year, and like learned each other, and like it's so like how much we're so on the go right now. It's gonna feel so weird
So weird.
when we like stop.
Yeah.
But also like I can't wait to see what God does in through that. Like I just feel like we're gonna be so much more productive and so much more efficient because we've been like pressure cooked for so
It feels
long.
like that. Like it literally is like I just know like good things are coming. I know great things are coming because you don't get put under this pressure of the go and the learning all these things. Like we're learning so much of how to
Mhm.
be on the go, how to live in a small space, how to communicate, and like there's so much that we're learning, and God doesn't just have you go through all these things and learn and be challenged for no like for nothing.
Yeah.
He has a purpose and a plan, and we may not know that, but all we can know is that he is a good father, and what he's doing is for a reason, and it's for a good reason.
Yeah.
And so we can put our trust in that, and we can have joy in that, and we can
Yeah.
smile about that, because yeah, it sucks right now. And I don't like
But
to use that
it's
word, but
okay to also like be confused and be
yeah,
upset and be angry and feel what you need
feel
to
it. Yeah.
feel. I think so often people think like, oh, we're Christians, everything needs to be okay because our God is good. It's like, well,
No.
yeah, he's good, but we're also living in the world,
Yeah.
which like it's confusing because we have brought sin into this world,
Mhm.
and so it's like it's okay to be confused at God, it's okay to be angry at God, it's okay
Mm,
to have frustrations towards God, but go to him, don't go to everyone else and complain about him. I mean, if
it's
you
good.
if you read through the Psalms, I mean, that's David in a nutshell. It's like one moment he's like, God, why are you forsaking me, and the next he's
Yeah.
like, God, I love you so much, you're the best thing in the whole world, like,
Yeah.
and so I think it's remembering that emotions, good and hard, can exist in the same breath,
Yes.
and we see that all throughout the Psalms and David and his journey, of good and hard at the same time. And
Hmm.
so yeah, don't be afraid to feel what you need to feel. Like, stuffing away your emotions is
Mm,
is so bad for you.
yes.
It's so bad. Like, I don't know, in the last 2 years how many breakdowns I've had. So many, because I know if I'm
Gotta get it
frustrated,
out.
I just have to be frustrated in that moment. It doesn't
Hmm.
mean that I question God's goodness. It doesn't mean, like, I've seen too much. I've seen the goodness of God too much to not believe, but that doesn't mean I'm not a human with human emotions, that, and I need to feel them.
Yeah.
And so I think like in this season, it's like being able to express like, this is hard, this it sucks, like you said, this sucks, this is hard, it feels like it's like one thing after another coming against us. But at the same time, it's like I can hold fast to the truth of my God is good, and he's a good father who takes care of his children. But also at in the same breath, go to him and say, God, why is this happening? Would you reveal this to me? Why is all this tension? Where's all this pressure coming from? Is there something I need to be doing different? What did that look like? And so don't be afraid to like have those emotions towards God. He's not afraid of your emotions. He created your emotions. Like if he didn't want us to have emotions, he would have created us emotionless. And so it's like, it's not like God doesn't want you to hide your emotions or like be this inauthentic version of yourself that pretends life is perfect, because it's not. I'm here to tell you, life is not perfect. Life is hard. But it's like you can have good moments and hard moments in the same breath, and express that to him.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah. Anything else? I don't think so. So we're in Colorado still for a couple more weeks. Which feels foreign and also great at the same time. He's wearing new merch.
Oh yeah, check it out.
So we got new merch for the Christian Singles Hub. So he's wearing some of our new merch. I'm just wearing my Aspen sweater that I got this weekend that he picked out for me, because he likes to pick out clothes for me.
It looks good on her.
And yeah, so we're just hanging around here, probably more coffee shop work days, because again, they make us be so productive. I think I talked a couple weeks ago that I'm working with a business coach. Which has been awesome. He's so great. Just helping implement new things. So excited to see where that goes. New strategies, new structures, new things that will help us kind of go bring the business to the next level. So excited for that. Also been working with a health coach, which has been so challenging. So challenging.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that challenge?
Whew.
You're feeling it too.
Yeah, it's really,
it's testing.
Yeah, it's really testing. Our grocery bill has skyrocketed.
I mean, I think that's our own fault though.
True. But yeah, it's basically the purpose of it is to really strip you of all the things and get you
detox. Like basically detox you completely, having only like very nutrient dense foods. Nothing that causes inflammation. And really like strips you of all processed foods, anything that is not good for you. And yeah, it's challenging because I've kind of ate healthy before. And I think it's challenging in two ways, because I can't be physically active because of my back. And sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. And so before I'd eat good, but also was active. Whereas now I am, on this health plan, whatever you want to call it. And it's very rigid. It's very minimal. There's no room for indulgences at all. And that's challenging because you still want to enjoy life. I think the most challenging thing is when we're not just living in the RV and like not really anywhere cool, but like when we're in Aspen, like I wanted to eat out so many times because all these cute little restaurants were everywhere, and we couldn't because we're on this health plan. And it's good, but it's hard. And so
all good things are hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it, is what I always say. Like going to the gym and getting, whatever you want to do. If you want to get muscle or whatnot, like it's hard. Getting a new career or, anything in life that takes something from you or, takes work is hard. And this is just more challenging because we've cooked more. I like cooking.
I don't.
And I've cooked more in the last 30 days or however long. Like we have cooked, but like it's incredible how much like we've cooked.
Yeah, I think it's just hard when your
And
emphasis all of a sudden
it's
goes to
on
having like to think about
food.
food, to think about preparing food, to
Yeah.
prepare that food, to think about grocery shopping, to
Mm.
think about what you need, to think about what you're gonna prep. Like if we
Yeah.
go work at a coffee shop, we have to bring a lunch. Like thinking about that, thinking about cleanup after cooking.
Mhm.
Like it's just taking so much energy that already we have lack of energy
Yeah.
because we're on this tour, we're moving so much. We, running a business, he's working full time. Like there's so much going on. I'm also working with a business coach and like, this and
Still have
that
immigration that
and
we're going through.
immigration and taxes and this and that and like so much that like putting my whole focus into this is so challenging.
Mm.
Um
It's really interesting how much food plays a role in your daily life.
that you don't really think
You don't
about
think
until you're
about it.
like stripped from it.
Yeah. Or really focusing on like, okay, what am I eating and what am I putting into my body? Because well, that's what this is doing. It's really taking all of the gum and the
The man
acids and all the
the man-made things,
yeah out, and
basically.
then it's basically after a period of time, then you start implementing
Certain
different
things
things
back
back in
in.
to see how it affects your body, um, which is like it all makes sense. It's just extremely stretching and challenging, um, and so yeah, we're on a journey. We're doing it, and
Yeah.
we're gonna complete it,
I'm too
and
stubborn to quit.
yeah, we're not
I
stopping.
literally would have quit, but I'm too stubborn to
I
quit.
would have let
So,
her stop
um,
because it is extremely challenging, but we're in it together and we started it, and yeah,
yeah, I
we're gonna
think
see it through.
I love that it's not only like you're eating just nutrient dense foods, but you're also learning and there's also educational
Yeah.
content of like figuring out what how to move forward. Eating very healthy, eating, and I think I've talked about this before, just, you know, the food that we put in our body is
Crazy.
wild. Like
Hmm.
we are the worst country, like the United States of quality of food. And you see it because I think there was a stat that like 80% of people like at least take one medication a day, or something like that, something ridiculous.
Mm.
And I'm like, I don't want to be on pills. I don't want to be taking
Hmm.
things that are actually like hindering my body rather than helping my body.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's doing it the right way. And again, it's like not a quick fix. It's not like a 1 week diet where you lose a bunch of weight. It's like, hey, how do we instill these habits
Hmm.
into our life moving forward and very educationally helping us understand those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great. It's a balance, right? It's not like, oh, this is gonna be our life for the rest of our life. No, it's take what you need to from this and implement it how it works in your life, because we are very sociable. We
We
like to
like to
move and
go.
like to travel and like to do things, and we will. It's just now you're more conscious of like, okay, this, you learn and you take away like, if you can't take away everything, because then it's not making it your own. Our life isn't someone else's life. Someone like, hey, everybody's different, and so that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll take away what we need, and um, yeah, it's been really challenging,
But
but
all good things are challenging.
yes, 100%.
So that's our update for week 13. We'll be back next week.
We hope
Week
y'all had
14.
a great Easter.
Yes, happy Easter. He is
Yeah.
risen indeed.
Yes, praise God.
So till next week,
Week 14 already next week?
keep fit and have fun.
Oh, is that a slogan or what?
Don't you remember those commercials?
No.
Keep fit and have fun.
You heard it first. Week 14. We'll see you next week.
Bye.